Greetings and welcome to Analog Allies. I'm your host, RGT85, joined as always by my co-host, the Sunshine Man, Brett. Brett, how are we doing?
Doing good, staring God right in the face, as you can see.
You don't have a curtain?
No, this is a weird window. I'll have to send a picture.
I mean, you could put like a blanket over it or something.
I tried. I thought it was this show. I tried one time and I had to tape it, and it didn't work.
Game and Talk asks Game B. Game and Talk, no, because the girls went to they went to PAX West. So they had to like pack and shit last night. So we're going to do it next week after they get back from PAX West. I thought someone would have made a post about that, but I guess they didn't. We are early today because this is a show that really doesn't have a set time. We just kind of go live when it works.
It used to be more set, but now.
Yeah, but now the kids are back in school. I'm an old man. I like to go to bed early, although I did not sleep last night. Like I fell asleep at like 3:30 or 4. It sucked. So I've been tired all day, but now I can go to bed early tonight. But you're not here about my sleeping woes. You are here to hear about the latest and greatest in video game news. Shout outs to our channel members, Jazzman, DC Fat Cat in the building. You know, let's get some support going, guys. We got some goals to hit. I actually tried to make a goal, and because you could do it in like the thing, like you can have like if you get X amount of super chats in a time frame, then you could set a goal. And the initial goal I was gonna do was you were gonna take your shirt off because you owe me because I gave you extra money for something, but it wouldn't let me like save the goal. And then I just tried to change it to I'll do DSP impressions. And then that didn't work either. So I don't know what the fuck happened. But let's get some support going, guys, here. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. I guess we'll start off with kind of one of the weirder topics of the week. Xbox games on PlayStation games on Xbox. What's going on here, pal? Now, I know
pretty crazy.
You played Helldivers. I played Gears. I did play Gears on Xbox. What was your experience like with Helldivers? I believe you've never played that before or anything like that. So what are your thoughts?
No, it's not 100% my type of game, but I always thought it looked interesting, and I always thought it would be fun with people. And that's why anytime I play it, I'm going to be at least playing with one friend, because it's a game for me that most of the fun about it is about the wackiness that happens and like the laughing moments, the chaos that happens. And but that's honestly what I thought it was going to be mainly focused on. But what's cool is the game actually has, from what I can see right now, a really fun upgrade path of cool things you can actually unlock as you get as your level gets higher and higher. And it's awesome. Like you can call down these like strikes and whatnot, and there's some really cool ones that I see that are still far away, but I'm excited to keep playing it. I just hope I continue to have people to play with. It runs good. It looks good. It's still really weird turning it on and seeing PlayStation Studios and like doing all that like big like logo animation on Xbox. I know it did it on MLB as well, and it also does it in Marathon. It did it during the beta. So it's just a weird world we're living in where this is PlayStation's biggest game in the past few years, I think, right?
Maybe.
So it's weird that like their biggest game of one of their biggest games of this generation at the very least is on Xbox, and that's crazy to think about. Yes, it's a service game, but personally, I still think we're going to continue to see more bleed over from PlayStation to Switch and Xbox, and then of course Xbox is going all out, but never Nintendo.
So I'm not a Helldivers guy. I don't know. It doesn't appeal to me. I know it's kind of like Earth Defense Force a little bit, but Earth Defense Force, I feel, leans more into the absurdity of things. But I did play Gears of War. What the hell they call it? Reloaded, I think it's called.
Yep.
Played it on Xbox. Been playing with Nate, John, and MVG the past couple of nights. I mean, it's Gears of War, man. I played some of the campaign. I think the campaign actually still holds up very well. I don't remember much from the campaign as far as like the original playthrough, but I'm like remembering as I play through it.
Did you play the remaster before, or
No.
you have not played since the original? Okay, so
Yeah.
this whole fresh coat of paint is brand new for you.
Yeah.
Because this essentially is the Xbox One game, just at higher resolution and frame rate now.
Right.
But that's still a big leap for you since you haven't played it since the original Xbox 360 version.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been enjoying it. They didn't the video cutscenes. They couldn't really do anything to upgrade those. So, like the intro cutscene looks kind of jank compared to the rest. When it's like the in-game character models, it looks better. But I think the story still holds up really well as far as like being fun. Like it's kind of something that you get a lot of, pointless diatribes and, trying to shoehorn in things into a lot of video game stories nowadays. Sometimes it's just fun to like turn off your brain and be like, hey, these aliens are fucking assholes. We got to kill them and save our teammates. And now we got to take out the locust. And then there's the lead guy and all this sort of shit. I've been enjoying the campaign, replaying through it. And then the online, I think it's really good. It feels, maybe it might feel a little bit dated to some people, like the movement system, the lack of being able to target an area. You can only target an individual. But once again, I got with the original game, I got the first batch of DLC, but I never got the second batch. So some of the levels, like I don't know whatsoever, and I tend to play worse on those levels. On the levels I'm familiar with, like, because Nate is by far the best out of all of us. I'm in second. John is in third. MBG is in fourth, but MBG didn't really play it all that much back in the day, and neither did John. But we've had fun. You run into some high level guys already though that are just like fucking you in the ass.
Wall bouncing,
fucking you in the ass, dude. Fucking diving sniper shots. I saved a clip of it. This guy, I was playing against this team. I was just playing by myself during
You can't even shoot while you dodge, though.
Dude, this dude was literally diving and took my head off, and I don't know how it happened. I have a clip of it saved, but Xbox, I always forget how to like put it on your phone or on social media or something. What's up, Superman? Oh man, what's up, Albo Army? Mr. Pina, good to see y'all here.
The recording stuff used to go automatically to my phone. Now I have to manually go to the clip on my Xbox and click like upload to Xbox Network.
Yeah,
and then it shows up on your phone. It's done.
So I'll mess around with it and see if I can figure it out. But I do think, what's up, Noah? I do think that it is fun. Especially if you have nostalgia for it. If you played it back in the day, that was the game that I bought an Xbox 360 for, because a bunch of my homies were like, yo, this is fucking tight. And I was working at GameStop at the time, so I traded in some shit and got a 360 and got Gears, and we used to play that game hours and hours a night. So it's definitely fun. But this game did come out on PlayStation, and when you play the game, and you're in the lobby, it will show you what the people are playing on. So I would say it's been a lot of Xbox players, but there have been quite a few Steam and PlayStation players. And it's very funny because a lot of the PlayStation players, even some of I think I'm like level 26. So I'm not like super high or anything like that, but like you'll come across like people around that level and maybe even higher that are playing on PlayStation. But I don't think they're as used to it as like the Xbox players are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's a very different beast. But yeah, if you have Game Pass, it's on Game Pass. I think the physical is $40 on PlayStation, 40 or 50 maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's 40.
But yeah, it's a good time. If you are super familiar with it, I think it's worth checking out. If you've never played it before, but you've always been curious about it, I think it's a good starting point, but you're going to get your ass waxed quite a bit initially.
What sucks is I just replayed this game, like the remastered version for Xbox One, and it actually got enhanced on Series X, and it's not really that much different than what just technically came out on Series X already, like before. And I wish I didn't play it last year. I played through the entire campaign, and I wish I would have waited for just this tiny little bump.
Yeah, but how long? The campaign's not long.
I mean, I don't want to play it again. It's like fresh in my head, so I'll probably play it in like 5 years or something.
Yeah. Did DSP get back to you? No, he never did. I did send him an email. I saw on his stream last night, somebody sent him a super chat saying that he should collab with me, and he was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I was like, you motherfucker, I emailed you. What are you talking about? You say you check your emails all the time. I know a lot of people are wondering, where is my Delta coverage? Because, okay, Bill Moss, that's what we literally just talked. That's what we were just talking about was Gears Reloaded. What's up, Pickle Rick? I have not jumped into it yet because I applied for a copy from Konami and it was supposed to go out today and I haven't gotten it yet. So if I don't hear anything by tonight, if I don't hear anything by tomorrow morning, I'll just go ahead and pick it up. I am looking forward to it. It is one of my favorite games of all time. I don't know. I still don't know how I feel about some of the character changes as far as the appearances. Like the boss, she looks too young now. You know, she looks almost as like young as Eva, and it's like,
Doesn't Eva look older now though?
I haven't really seen. I've been trying to keep it to a minimum, so like I'm at least surprised by the character model. But like Colonel Volgan, I think looks weird. I don't know. It might be something I just need to play to experience. You know, kind of getting sucked into the different graphical style and whatnot. But I am still looking forward to it. You know, performance issues aside, hopefully they can maybe iron that out or something like that. But that gets into the whole thing where it's like day one adopters are the ones who get fucked at the end of the day.
Yep.
Like, and it's such bullshit. These are the people that are putting your game on Circana / what used to be the NPD. You know, these are the people that are the diehard supporters, the ones buying the collector's edition, the ones, you know, pre-ordering the game so that your game gets higher up on Steam charts and shit like that. And it's just like, they don't care. They're just like, oh, well, you're the suckers for getting it early. So, you know, here you go.
I mean, dude, this is another game to add to the Unreal Engine 5 disappointment list.
Oh, God. That's a country mile. I'm very curious to see how Borderlands 4 ends up.
Isn't it only like 30 frames on Switch 2?
Yeah. I just meant in general. Let's
That
get some support going. We have been live for 15 minutes. Let's get a kick sub. Let's get a super chat going. Let's get a tip going. Come on. Let's get some momentum, guys.
Dude, I will say, speaking of graphics and whatnot, Hogwarts Legacy on Switch 2. It's probably the most graphically impressive game I've played on it so far.
We could parlay that. No, it's not. WWE clears because it's 60 frames.
I know it's 60. I know. But honestly, it's weird. I rarely turn on a game and I'm like, this is 30, but it kind of looks 60. I really think it is. Like, the frame rate's just so locked at 30 most of the time that I really couldn't tell at first if it was 60 or 30. It's definitely 30.
It's also a slower paced game. Yeah, No Man's Sky on Switch 2 is very impressive as well. Quite a big glow up from that original Switch version of the game. It's actually, I would say it even made it more fun to play for me. And that's a game that I've grown to appreciate because it's kind of Starfield without the overarching story. But let's be real, the story in Starfield wasn't all that great to begin with. And it's more like what Starfield should have been, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But we can parlay the frame rate thing into the, I don't know if you've seen this, the controversy surrounding Final Fantasy VII Remake on the Nintendo Switch 2. Initial reports out of Gamescom, somebody said it was 60 frames, and then they were saying it was 40 frames, according to a representative there on the show floor. And then Squeenix came out and said it's 30 frames on the Switch 2. Now, to be fair, I don't necessarily think that is going to, you know, ruin the game or something like that. You know, it is what it is. But I do find it interesting how how the it's kind of like the telephone game where you tell one person something and then they tell a person the same thing, and then you get to this era. And I don't know. I would have liked to have seen, because I feel like if there was a performance mode, I think there's just one mode on the game. And I feel like if there was a performance mode and this was 30 frames for the graphics mode, it would at least give you options. And I don't understand why Squeenix, and really why most companies that are third party games aren't having the options when Cyberpunk did. And I think Cyberpunk was better for that because it lets you prioritize what you want to prioritize. And I mostly played on the 30 frame per second mode, but there definitely was a difference with 40 frames. And when you have 40 frames and a VRR screen and handheld mode, it does make for a smoother experience. So I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. I think, like, I guess I never fully envisioned the Switch 2 as being like a 60 FPS plus machine. So whenever we get these more graphically demanding games like Cyberpunk or Hogwarts or what we were just talking about, Final Fantasy, 30's fine for me. I don't care that if it's third person, I don't care that much, and it's a portable device. But at least there's still going to be tons of games, especially first party. I think Nintendo is always going to aim for 60 to 120 when it comes to first party.
Yeah, I mean,
and also keep in mind, we know, which is a main topic, that dev kits are still hard to come by for Switch 2. So this is a problem that could be fixed in the future once more devs get their hands on the tech.
But one of the things was that with the DLSS utilization, it seems like that has been criminally underutilized for the Switch 2 thus far, because it seems like many games aren't really using it,
Yeah.
You had DLSS implementation in Cyberpunk, and you had it in Street Fighter, but then everything else has just been maybe, probably not though. Even Donkey Kong Bonanza, which was originally a Switch 1 game, I mean, that used FSR 1. It's why aren't you using the DLSS? Why is nobody using the DLSS? We know we've seen what DLSS does for low rig systems. There's millions of videos out there on it. And I don't know. It's kind of perplexing to me. But I guess we can segue this into the yes, it did come out 2 months ago. But see, that's the problem, Night Raven. That's the problem. Night Raven says this system just came out 2 months ago, RGT 85. Here's the thing. This system should have came out in 2024. It was scheduled to, and then it ended up, we'll do it in 2025. So these companies should have had these. We've known about things like the Matrix Reloaded demo, or what was it? Was that what it's called? Matrix Reloaded? What was the Matrix demo?
I think that's what it was called.
We knew about Final Fantasy VII running on the Switch 2. We knew
Awakens.
Awakens. This was all stuff that we learned about from Gamescom of years past. So my thing is, why haven't these developers had these systems long enough to be working on these games to ensure that the ports are going to, at the very least, have options? At the very least, have the options to do things with that. And it doesn't seem like, we've gotten reports out of Gamescom this year. So, year later plus, that multiple developers that Digital Foundry talked to, and people could sit there and hate Digital Foundry because they have an anti-Nintendo bias, which, say whatever about Digital Foundry. I always say I like the work that they do. I don't like how the work that they do gets over scrutinized and games automatically become bad because of performance issues. And oh, look, the PS5 version is 1 frame per second lower than the Xbox version at this, little thing here. It's a bad game. I mean, that's very ticky-tacky stuff. Now, stuff like Delta with the drastic drops, obviously that's a little bit more informative. but I do like the work that they do, and they do more often than not. They're pretty much spot on with things, and um, they were talking to developers at Gamescom, and many of them, including AAA developers, were like, "We don't have dev kits. Nintendo told us to put our games on Switch 1 and use backwards compatibility." And it's like, what the fuck kind of mentality is that?
That is so weird, dude. And that's actually what happened to a lot of upcoming games. Like games that you would expect to see on Switch 2 are only coming to Switch 1.
Shinobi, Ninja Gaiden, Ragebound.
Yeah, and there's like other like JRPGs and whatnot, I believe. I can't remember at the moment. Something from Exceed or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's stupid. Like I don't understand what like I would understand before the hardware was announced and before we knew what the specs was. Maybe you don't want to get your dev kit out there for whatever reason, even though they don't really have any competition right now. So it's like doesn't really matter. So it's like now that it's out, they should be sending boatloads of dev kits to everyone.
Yeah, like I don't understand why you're limiting people. And it goes back to that Insider Gaming report that everyone thought sounded fucking stupid as hell, where it was like they're going to have rollouts of stuff where it's like, certain devs will have games and then there'll be like a second wave and a third. Like Microsoft, you're going to tell me that they're not wanting to put a bunch of shit on the Switch too?
Definitely.
And the first thing, aside from Tony Hawk, which whatever, that's an Activision thing. The first thing is Indiana Jones.
Yeah, that was surprising too. Like honestly, even from Nintendo itself, I'm surprised by the lack of last gen upgrades and stuff. Like, I don't know.
It's a very odd situation, and like somebody said in the chat, where was it? Hold on, let me scroll up here. Despite Art Vandelay, importer exporter, despite the good Switch 2 console sales, I think the dev kit and third-party support is a major misstep by Nintendo. Bad optics, and it's weird to me because I feel like now would be the time to have that third-party rush, because obviously Nintendo is being carefully balanced with their first-party games. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. There's not a whole lot of stuff that's mind blowing. Like I've seen people on social media say, "Oh, the Switch 2's first year looks better than the Switch 1's first year," and I'm like, "No." You could say the launch. You could say
the launch was good.
The launch, sure, because technically Breath of the Wild was a Wii U game, but nobody bought the Wii U. But then you start to incorporate stuff like, Splatoon 2. We talked about this last week, I think. Splatoon 2, Mario Odyssey, Xenoblade 2, ARMS, just like bam, 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 bam. And I don't feel the same about the Switch 2's lineup as I felt about that. Like when you look at what's to come this year.
Yeah.
When you look at what's to come this year, it's kind of like, good titles, some that will interest, certain demographics, Kirby Air Riders, still not 100% sold on it. Metroid Prime 4, still really looking forward to that. Pokemon Legends ZA, it looks like a HD Dreamcast game to me.
It really does. That's
like, and you know what it reminds me of Sonic Adventure, because Sonic Adventure had that city hub, and that's what it literally looks like to me, like playing Sonic Adventure on an emulator, upscaled to fucking hell. And then Hyrule Warriors, which is now 2026, and it's kind of like, keep the momentum. We got to keep the momentum going, guys.
But here's the thing: where Nintendo is, I feel like lacking a little bit from first party because of the dev kit situation. There's no gap. Like there's nothing filling in the gaps really. Like one of the main reasons why I bought Hogwarts was because I just wanted to own another Switch 2 game. Like I got it because there was like that trick you could do to get it for $22, and my kids might like it. But I was like, I want to own another Switch 2 game. I got Donkey Kong, Mario Kart, Fusion, and then now Hogwarts. 4 games, and it's like, it's just not that exciting right now. I don't know, but I'm also in a weird camp where I've put in plenty of time into Donkey Kong, and I'm not like loving it. So
really? I really enjoyed that game.
I felt the same way about Mario, the last 2D one.
You got to
Wonder.
do like the final stuff in it, like
I'm still
before.
I'm still fairly early, so I'm gonna put more time into it. But I just wish it was grabbing me more.
Superman, oh man, with a $2 donation. Nintendo doesn't owe you anything. They're perfect, and he's not wrong. But it's kind of Drag X Drive. Can't forget Drag X Drive. It how much of that is a Nintendo problem and how much of that is just an industry problem is kind of a question that that you also have to ask yourself. And look, all of this mentality can change very quickly with a
I was about
direct.
to say, I think we're being short-sighted and we're just
I don't
talking
know.
right now. But I bet in a year from now, they'll be like, "Wow, there's so many great games," you know.
And I'm sure there is, but that doesn't negate the current feeling, you know.
Yeah.
Well, Jesse says, well, how many PS5 games had their first year? The thing about that is that launched during COVID, so at least there was some sort of excuse for it. But I don't think the PS5 and the Xbox Series, they were also underwhelming. You don't expect that from a company though that's coming off of an elongated life cycle for the original Switch, where they have literally, there's been reports coming out saying, hey, we're taking our time with this because we want to have a ton of games and all this sort of stuff. And it's like, all right, where are they?
And here's the thing with Switch 2, I mean, with Xbox Series X and PS5, when those came out, it felt like there was no hiccup in terms of third parties transferring from last gen to that gen.
Very
with
true.
Switch 1 to Switch 2, there's this weird mix of why isn't this here? Why isn't this here? This is here, but why isn't this here? I don't know. It's just different. It doesn't feel like how those felt.
And some of the companies that have dev kits, like Bandai Namco, they should not have a dev kit. Bandai Namco sucks ass on Nintendo platforms. And I know that they're doing Kirby Air Riders and they're probably putting their A team on that. But Bandai Namco is doing 810 30 frames for Sparking 02, which is 720 30 frames on the Switch 1. That was all you could figure out. Like, I don't get like what's going on here with that.
And apparently, Elden Ring runs really bad.
And the Tales of Zelia or whatever it is doesn't have a Switch 2 version. So
yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. Like that was weird, right?
Yeah,
that's so weird.
Tales of Zelia doesn't have a Switch 2 version.
They have dev kits.
But here's the thing. I look at it like this, because we know Sega has dev kits because they're shitting out Yakuza games left and right. But are there segments of the company? Because Sega's Shinobi, like that's kind of what we're seeing with that. So it's a very weird thing. It's a very strange thing that I'm sure will get rectified over time. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not, this isn't doom and gloom. It's simply looking at the current state and asking, well, why is it like this exactly? You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just a weird little transition period. But I don't know. I like I said, a year from now, we'll probably be like, okay, yeah, we were probably being dramatic. But as of right now, it's just feels a little dry and less exciting, in my opinion. But again, it's probably because Donkey Kong's just not necessarily hitting really hard for me, and I feel like I'd be a lot more satisfied with my Switch 2 if I was liking it more.
I also play a lot of games, so I'm probably not the best person to look for that. But I also think that there's a lot of fucking dick riders that make it worse, where they just spew misinformation. I did see somebody ask about Madden. There hasn't been any patches as far as I'm aware since the day one patch. I can look real quick, and if we're basing it off the day one patch, that didn't do anything for performance, no. That it would still be as jank as it was initially.
I'm hoping that a year from now, any game that has to target the Series S should also be coming to the Switch too. because apparently they're not that drastically different in terms of power. And if that's not the case, that's going to be disappointing. Unless first party is just firing on all cylinders, like Nintendo was around like 2016 to 18. Remember those years?
Yeah.
It was awesome.
You know, it is what it is. Hopefully we'll see some improvements as time goes on, and more devs getting their hands on kits, and more games coming out in a timely manner, because when it comes to delayed third-party games, it always makes for an interesting situation. What do you got? Oh yeah, 2016. What the fuck was 2016?
I was actually thinking 17 to like 19.
There you go. That's a little better.
But the Wii U in its last year, was it terrible? I can't remember.
Yes, they weren't making anything for it. It was all
Ports?
just no. It wasn't even that. It was just random indie stuff.
Oh, then never mind. Yeah, I got my years mixed up. I just remember 2018 was freaking awesome.
Yeah, Kratos is day one on Switch too. But I don't. No, Pickle Rick, it never came through. At least I never saw it. I'm a little bit hesitant on that version. I watched who did a video on it. Might have been Nintendo Life, and it looked fine at 30. Like that didn't bother me because it's a slower paced game. But fire is kind of a big thing in that game, and there was definitely a large frame rate drop when fire was happening in the segment of their video. Wasn't like super long, so you couldn't get a full feel for it. But there was definitely a fire related like atmospheric. It wasn't even necessarily atmospheric because it's a part of the gameplay. There was a large like dip, and then it came back up. So I don't know. I might end up checking out that game. I'm actually going to be checking out Star Wars Outlaws next week as well on the Switch too. Boy, oh boy, should that be a riveting port of that game. Okay, it was Nintendo Life. I'm still a member of the Ubisoft Creators Program. They haven't kicked me out yet, so I'm going to milk it for everything I got.
Dude, all right. 2019 was a banger year. We got Animal. Wait, never mind. That's 2020. We got Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Luigi's Mansion 3, Astral Chain, and Super Mario Maker 2, and Pokemon Sword and Shield. That was okay. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Like, that's a lot of first party stuff.
I did not play the Rogue Prince of Persia games because I'm not really a fan of rogues. I can't do it. Like, dude, some of them are done good or done better than others. Like, for sure.
I don't like roguelites at all, but I wanted to jump into that and see how it felt, and it plays beautifully. It felt really good. You played this? Yeah, I did like the first level, like area.
I asked, did you play any new game? I asked this fucker if he played any new games this week, and he talked about some game that came out in July that's like hentai beat 'em up.
Because I played that. You asked.
I asked for new games. It was
like almost the last day of July. So anyway,
but this is newer.
I did play the Rogue Prince of Persia, and mechanically, like I'm saying, it feels really good to play. But I just stopped because I know that I don't like that genre. But
what's a topic you have?
It made me want to play the Metroidvania one that came out not that long ago.
That was good.
Did we talk about PS5 price increases last week?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Aside from that, I had another topic that I'm trying to find.
Well, Silksong has 120 hertz mode, so it'll be fine on the Switch too.
Ooh, that's gonna look so good on the Switch screen.
You'll have to let me know. I'm not buying that.
Oh yeah, Crystal Dynamics suffered a bunch of layoffs.
Water was wet.
Probably due to the cancellation of Perfect Dark. And where the hell's that next Tomb Raider game? We haven't heard anything about it. It's apparently been in development like forever.
This is your topic.
I mean, what's wrong with talking about that?
What are we going to talk about? Video game
Yeah.
company lays people off in 2025.
I mean, I'm a big fan of Crystal Dynamics, so it's
What
a
have
little
they done?
heartbreaking.
What have they
What do,
done?
what do you mean?
Lately?
What have they
What
done?
have they done lately?
You didn't play the amazing
Avengers?
game? I'm just kidding. But no, like Tomb Raider and Rise of the Tomb Raider are like top freaking 50 games.
Lately. I could
Dude,
tell you.
dev cycles are way too long. If you didn't release a game if you released a game even 5 years ago, like your next game is still probably 5 years away. That's how long these dev cycles are.
Rolling with Kevin brings up a topic that can actually get some substance going on. The new Acclaim trailer. Now, I am here to be the bearer of bad news. Because from what I know about this Acclaim thing, this has nothing to do with Acclaim of yesteryear. From what I have gathered and what I've heard through the grapevine, and I could be wrong on this, so don't run to gaming leaks and Reddits or quote me on this, but this is what I have heard, that essentially a company has come in and bought the name and they bought the logo, which is weird because I don't think it's the same company, but I'm 99% sure that the people behind Collector Vision Games at one point in time own the Acclaim logo and branding, and they might have sold it to these new people because I don't think that they're involved in it. But from what I have gathered, all this Acclaim it's not the questionable N64 wrestling games or the arcade ports or, oh, they did NBA Jam on consoles. They did Mortal Kombat on consoles. Acclaim was essentially hired guns for that stuff. This new Acclaim is basically going to be a publishing branch for indie games.
Yeah.
That is what I have heard.
Kind of like and Atari is now.
Yes, and if you read between the lines, because Acclaim, I don't know of any. Let me see here. Properties that Acclaim owns. Because I don't believe that they currently, because they filed for Chapter 7 in late 2004. That's when they made Showdown Legends of Wrestling. And then, so it was announced that, yeah, here we go. On March 4th, 2025, it was announced that a group of executives purchased the Acclaim trademark and would relaunch Acclaim Entertainment as an indie publisher and potentially former Acclaim IP, potentially purchase former Acclaim IP. The company Acclaim Inc. is led by Russell Binder, Mark Kaplan, and wrestler Jeff Jarrett, while Graffiti Game CEO Alex Joseph was announced as the Acclaim new CEO. So yeah, like they've published a ton of games, but I don't think they own the rights to those games aside from when they publish them. But when they go bankrupt, you no longer have anything. All your assets are gone with whatever you have gone under, because Sculptured Software was the one that was actually making it for some of the games, and Acclaim was the publisher for it. Now, I could be wrong on some of that, but I also don't expect this to be the Acclaim of old. And I think that information, a wild slap nuts appears because so Tyson says NBA Jam as well. Think about NBA Jam. Who owns NBA Jam? Like Midway. It was a Midway game. So now it's, I guess, a WB Games game. Or if anyone owns it. You know, they didn't own WrestleMania, the arcade game. That was a Midway game that they ported to home consoles. So, yeah, like I've seen a lot of people gassing it up. Well, thank you, Wily Tiger. We'll put that on the screen there, pal. I've seen a lot of people gassing it up, and they're like, oh, okay. For instance, I saw someone on Facebook, because I was just scrolling through my feed, and they were like, man, they should really remake the Showdown Legends of Wrestling and the Legends of Wrestling games on like a new engine. And I'm like, they can't do that. It's licensing. All of those wrestlers would have to be contacted, many of which are now under WWE Legends contracts. So you can't do that. You can't have okay, Owen Hart. Owen Hart is now an AEW property. You can't have Owen Hart in the game. Bret Hart under a contract. Legends contract. Hulk Hogan under a Legends contract. Jake the Snake Roberts, Legends contract. Like, it's not.
Do you think they would re-release the game and take out any wrestler that they don't own the right to, but like replace them with another random name?
No, because you can't do that. You take like when you look at the roster of people, just look at the cover art of the game. I wish I had. Hold on, let me 1 second. Let me pull up. Oh wait, what's my computer doing? Okay, there we go. My second screen was being used for capture footage. What am I doing? Showdown, Jesus. Legends of Wrestling.
Night Raven, I'm a little concerned about Lost Soul Aside, considering there's no review codes out and it comes out tomorrow.
It has performance issues.
They did release a demo today, though, didn't they? So you
Oh
can
my
find
God,
out for
why is
yourself
this-
if you like it.
Why is this picture so small? Zoom in. All right, there we go. So let's look at the cover art here. Yeah, fuck Raja Jackson. And fuck
that was crazy.
Fuck any wrestler like defending Raja Jackson. Like, I don't give a fuck if you're friends with the dude's dad, if you're friends with Rampage. So I liked Rampage
tried
as a
to
fighter.
murder someone.
Yeah, like fuck that dude, and fuck anyone trying to suck his dick. Fucking clowns. Yeah, RVD, dude. RVD pissed me the fuck off with that shit. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Lay off the weed. Mark Henry, same thing. Like, what the fuck, dude? Mark Henry, he was like, I don't even know the situation. Okay, so here's the cover art here. You're not getting Hogan, so you got to take him off because he's WWE Legends. You're not getting Sting because Sting is AEW. You're not getting Jake the Snake, you're not getting Jake the Snake, WWE. You're not getting the Warrior here either, pal. So you could get Andre and you could get Macho.
All right, so you put Andre's face on the left and Macho's on the right, and you got a new cover. That would actually look kind of cool because they're both iconic.
But is that enough? Okay, and then you look at the rest of the roster. You're not getting Bret Hart. You're not getting Owen Hart. You're not getting. Well, you're probably not putting Jimmy Snuka in the game. Nasty Boys. You could do Nasty Boys. They don't have a Legends deal. But who are you going to replace these people with? So WWE.
You'd have to replace them with some younger, less popular wrestlers.
The AC man is in the house. This man fixed my air conditioner and saved my life.
Good man.
You could do Demolition just signed a Legends contract. So Demolition, the only game they're going to be in after Retromania is WWE games. Game with no heart. Like Scott Hall, Legends deal. Kevin Nash, Legends deal. So no, it was a breaker on the electrical box. The breaker for the AC unit was just shot for some reason. And so I had to buy a new breaker, and then he installed it because he knows how to do work with that. And you could do Austin Aries, Jesus. You could, but I don't think you would call it a remake of this game. And now we're getting into the point of Acclaim doesn't have this sort of budget. Like, you could pull some strings with Mr. Jarrett because Jeff Jarrett's the ultimate carny. He'll sell ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves. But it wouldn't be the same. So you can make a new thing of it, but it wouldn't be. Are you messaging me?
No.
Oh, no. It wouldn't be the same. So this Acclaim thing, like, I'm gonna watch it, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope that they do have some sort of IP, some stuff that's a little bit exciting. But if you just come out there with a bunch of indie games, you're not not that that's a bad thing, but you're not hitting your target demographic here. Because the people that are excited for Acclaim, spoiler alert, we're old. We're old people because we grew up with Acclaim. So excuse me. Sean G gifting a membership.
Nice. I did want to bring up some licenses stuff since we were talking about that.
Go on.
Recently, Atari purchased some IP from Ubisoft. Did you see this?
No, what did they buy?
Child of Eden, Cold Fear, Grow Home, Grow Up, and I Am Alive.
So 4 of those are.
Yeah,
Go
they
ahead.
actually it's from multiple publishers.
Well, no, Ubisoft had because Ubisoft did I Am
It's
Alive.
Child of Eden.
Child of Eden was published by Ubisoft, but was developed by an indie.
I guess
Cold
they owned it.
Fear. Cold Fear. Have you ever played Cold Fear?
No.
Cold Fear. That's a deep cut.
I Am Alive is too, and it wasn't received very well, which is why I'm wondering why they would buy the IP.
I Am Alive is not bad. Cold Fear.
Now I'm going to look it up.
Should I say it again? Cold Fear. It was kind of like Resident Evil 4 on a boat, a little bit, maybe.
It was kind of cool.
It was a survival horror game from, I want to say 2005. It didn't review the best, but it wasn't. I wouldn't say it's a terrible game. But
it's fixed camera angle, so it's more like classic. Oh wait, there's different. It's third person in some sections, and then when you go in other sections, it's fixed.
Yeah. Cold Fear. That's a deep cut. I like it. Somebody needs to buy Obscure. I would kill for a new Obscure game. Multiplayer horror. No, Cold Fear was PS2 and Xbox. I owned it on the Xbox.
What do you think the Metacritic is for Cold Fear?
62.
It is 71 Metacritic with an 8.6 user score.
Yeah, that's
not bad.
It got. I was surprised the meta was that high on it. Is that PS2 or Xbox?
Xbox. PS2 is 68.
Okay. Yeah, it wasn't a revolution, but what the fuck is Atari gonna do with that?
Well, what's cool is like they've been doing much smaller games. That new Bubsy 4D game's like the most like higher budget game they've had so far. Everything else has been tiny.
Who asked for Bubsy 4D?
So at least it looks like they're sort of moving up a little bit in terms of production value, in terms of how much money they're putting behind their games. But if they made a Cold Fear like sequel, but they kept it in its PS2 retro look, I think that'd be awesome.
You gotta do the remaster first, pal.
Oh yeah, first the remaster, and then a PS2 looking modern game.
That sounds cooler than what the fuck Acclaim is doing. Acclaim should have bought Cold Fear. Atari, look, Jay Author should be my co-host. Atari's going to re-release them and try to do something with those IP, according to a press release. Well, Atari, they've been buying up because they bought the Intellivision name. They're doing the Bubsy collection. Well, I mean, who the fuck?
They're doing the Mortal Kombat Legacy collection. They're helping with it. I don't know what their role is with it, but
maybe Atari is someone to look forward to.
And they apparently helped with the new System Shock 2 remaster. So they're moving their way up. Yeah, apparently that game's amazing. I kind of want to play it.
I played it. I played it on the Switch too. It's very fun. It's maybe like a precursor to BioShock. Maybe
that's exactly what it is. Because BioShock was originally going to be a System Shock game.
I think Atari did do The Thing. Didn't they do The Thing?
Let's see.
Thing remastered.
Well, when
Atari.
Like back in the day, because I think
The Thing remastered, dingus.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about back in the day. Because I don't think when Atari came back, they owned like everything Atari used to own. Just like how you were saying about.
Well, I can go to Atari's website right now and I can buy The Thing remastered physical. Standard edition or deluxe. What, The Thing? It was fine.
Yeah.
The Thing was a early PS2 game. It was actually a blue disc game, which was not good for your system. And then Night Dive, that's the company I'm thinking of. Night Dive came along and did the remastered edition, but I guess Atari had some role with that. Is it worth getting? I would say so, especially if you're a fan of the movie, because it's like a same universe. Is it a sequel? It might be a sequel. But no, it's super fun. But you know what? we can parlay this into something else. Our final topic, which isn't listed. So I don't know if you've noticed, but two smaller games, and when I say smaller, I mean file size wise, are coming to the Switch 2 with full physical editions. Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection and Yuka Replay.
Yeah.
Now, many people are saying, oh, it's the death of game key cards and stuff like that, which I don't think it is, because third-party companies are still not going to do it. Star Wars Outlaws, they got down to 19 gigs, and they're not putting it on a game. They're not putting it on a physical cartridge. They're putting it on a game key card. However,
did you see the Cyberpunk sales when it came to physical versus digital?
Yeah, but how many of those sales? Give me more time with that. Give me a year.
It was surprisingly mostly physical, which is what I was.
Because people bought it on launch. You walked into Best Buy. They said, "What games do you want, dingus?" Is it Yuka Play? Is that the name of it?
Yuka Replayly is what it is.
Okay. So those two games are getting full standard physical cartridge editions. However, one of those games we have a price for. That would be Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. And what's going on with that? The Switch 2 version. $10 more than the PlayStation 5 version. And Yuka Replay will probably be the same. So I'm very curious to see how those games sell comparatively to other platforms. Because I know people in the chat, I know people on Twitter, they'll all say one thing, I'm going to buy it on the Switch 2 to show them. And that's fine. You're allowed to do that. But if you're watching this show, you're probably, Yuka has a price, 50 across the board. I don't think that's confirmed for the Switch 2, though. I don't know if that's confirmed for the Switch 2. But even if it is, we can still look at Mortal Kombat. No, I don't think it will be. They got to make up for it, because we know the cost that's going into that. What are the sales going to look like on those physical games? Will people really put their money where their mouth is? Because I don't think the average person.
Okay. I don't know. I think they'll do decent. It is weird though that it's more on Switch too. Like Mortal Kombat. It's kind of dumb.
It is listed at 50 right now on Amazon. Well, this happened, I think, after I made my video. So now I don't feel. Oh wait, that's PlayStation. Okay. Savings pre-order price guarantee. Okay. I stand corrected on Yuka Replay. However, at the time of the making of my video, that was not confirmed. But still, man, they got balls to do that. I almost wonder if Nintendo helped subsidize that. Sean G, member for 13 months. If people rebel hard to game key cards, they're going to use that as an excuse to go all digital, in my opinion. Good googly moogly, that thing is juicy. I agree. I fully agree with that, because they also gave a very half-assed answer when, like, a very non-answer when asked about game key cards. Necro Banana with a big $5. Yooka-Laylee is a mid-ass game. At least it's better than Mighty Number 9. It really was, but I think this version of the game will be a lot better. I think that this version of the game will be a lot better.
It'll probably fix everything everybody hated about the original.
Oh, there is no Switch 2 version of Terminator 2 or 2D No Fate. If that, we never talked about the PS6 handheld. Fuck. So, did you hear about this?
Yeah, I've heard about this for a long time.
Yeah, but now it's coming back up again.
I think it's happening. I think that it's going to be an Xbox Series S and X situation where people are going to think that the handheld is dumbing down the PS6 because it's not going to be nearly as powerful. But it's going to have the same GPU like the Series S and X do.
But do you think that people are going to buy? Because to me, this sounds like something that they want, like, people to buy both of.
That'd be weird.
Like, would you really just buy a portable PS6 to play PS6 games that you can't play on the TV?
Yeah, I feel like it'd be like an either or situation. And I meant
Like, is there going to be a
CPU about
dock
the
for it?
Xboxes, by the way.
Huh?
I meant CPU about the Xboxes. I just wanted to make sure I
Oh.
didn't get that wrong. But yeah, I think it'll probably be like a docked machine, and it's just going to be a less. That's hilarious, Brett the Hat Man Hart. What picture is that? That's not today, is it?
Yeah, it's clearly today.
I'm not wearing wired headphones. It's not today.
Well, we're in the same shirt.
I think that one's gray. This one's green.
It's dockable. Well, I mean, we're assuming it's dockable.
Or it'll be an optional thing, like this little thing.
I don't know about this. It's an interesting decision, but it's also and the fact that PlayStation won't have to support it with dedicated first party games.
They will though. If PlayStation's making a handheld, every first party game is coming out on that handheld.
Stupid. I'm talking about dedicated, like a game only for the handheld.
Yeah, you're right.
That's what Max said. Well, Max, yeah, he's pretty knowledgeable when it comes to PlayStation stuff. At least has an ear to the ground with it. I mean, it's an interesting decision. Will it all comes down to pricing though. And I've seen like a PlayStation 6S as well. Did you see that? Like another PlayStation 6 that's going to be a console that's weaker.
Probably power wise more similar to the handheld. I could kind of see that.
That's a lot of SKUs though.
That's technically only 2, and they always have 2 lately with the Pro consoles.
No, if you have the handheld, that's 3.
Well, like what I'm saying is, like, let's say the innards of the handheld and the PS6S or whatever the hell it's going to be called. Like, what if they're literally the exact same, except one is portable and the other's not?
But why would I buy that then? Because if I could dock the portable one, it's the same thing. Why would I buy the?
It'll probably be more expensive as the handheld. They'll probably be the same price as the PS6.
But then why wouldn't I just? But then couldn't I just buy a portal?
Well,
like, I feel like you're doing. But you could do remote play wherever, as long as it's connected to the internet.
I mean, not a lot of people like remote plays, from what I've.
But supposedly it works very well.
I like remote play. It works good for me. I'm just saying, like, most people like to play natively.
I just feel like we're over convoluting things a little.
We don't need a PS6 anytime soon, dude.
No,
that's what I feel like.
No, I don't need it. We don't need a PS6. We don't need an Xbox Series X2. We don't need none of that shit. You know what we need? Fucking games. Fucking
first-party games
for these systems. What are these people doing? What are you doing? There is no way in hell that a PS6 handheld would be $400. The days of $400 consoles are no. Maybe a Switch 2 Lite, you might sniff around 350 or something like that. But no. NO spells no. We need games for these systems. We need first party games. Stop doing these dumbass games as a service games that nobody asked for. We don't want fair games. We don't want Concord. We don't want Contraband. We don't want any of this shit.
Stop obsessing with graphics too.
Stop
obsessing with graphics. It's ridiculous.
Stop with the fucking ray tracing. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck about ray tracing.
Look at the most popular games, dude. Barely any of them are graphical showcases. Just saying.
Pisser, PSSR, supposed to be the greatest thing in the world. Why does Metal Gear Solid Delta run worse on the PlayStation 5 Pro than it does on the base PlayStation 5? Stop with the fucking gimmicks. Stop with the nonsense. Make video games. Make appealing games that a mass market wants. You could still have the smaller games. You could still have the weird, quirky, this, that, or the other, artsy, fartsy, cool. But do not have that be a focal point over what the mass market wants. Stop appealing to dumb fucks on Twitter and really Blue Sky, because most of them, they're on Blue Sky now. Like, you got to stop with the nonsense here. You got to stop with the nonsense. You know what? This is a great way to wrap up the show. That brings me back to Gears of War. You know what makes Gears of War so good? It's fun. It's just it's fun. It's simple to play, hard to master, and it's a game that has mass appeal. You look at a game like Gears of War, you say, you know what? That's a video game. That's not some preachy nonsense. That's not some sob story about this, that, or the other. Most people play games to escape shit like that in their real life.
Dude, also with Gears, it's the full package. It's a single player campaign with a good story, good characters, and it also has a multiplayer package that doesn't have to exist forever. Some people can just play it while it's hot and then move on with their lives. And the developer's not trying to keep people around and keep releasing all this stupid content. And it's just, there's no like silly skins in the game.
We got Beavis and Butthead. Here's Nicki Minaj. I don't want to shoot a black woman with a gun. That's a fucking horrible optic. Jesus Christ.
Why are you so racist, Sean?
I'm not.
You should want to shoot all races equally.
I'm saying I don't want to shoot Nikki.
All right.
I can't. I was going to do a sexual pun, but it's 2025. You can't do that anymore. Nicki Minaj, you're a cutie. All right, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up here. We're going to move to the after show where things could be potentially even more unhinged. Thank you to everyone who came through. Sorry about the weird start time, but I mean, you never know. You never know.
We keep them on their toes.
Keep you on your toes. Shout out to Superman, oh man, DC Fat Cat, Sean G, and Necro Banana for the support. Oh, dude, Foxy Brown in that I'll Be Good video with Jay-Z, dude, yeah. If you're a channel member, check the member or the post tab. There will be a link to the after show. Yeah, Foxy Brown and Jay-Z, dude.
I just looked it up.
And yeah, we will catch you over there. Bye-bye.
Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at BrettNLL. Bye.
NL here, I'll type it. Follow Brett here. Brett NL.
I follow back.
He follows back. All right, bye.
Dude.